This is the 6 o'clock news. Early today, a group of students set out to march from North London to Whitehall. Their object was to deliver a petition to the Home Secretary protesting against the expulsion from this country of West German student leader Karl Feldorf. But within minutes of starting out, they were confronted by a counter-demonstration of the Law and Order Brigade, led by Major Lofthouse. Immediately, violence erupted as the two factions hurled insults at each other, then came to blows. The police escort, including 2 mounted men, moved in to separate the rival factions. Some of the demonstrators rolled marbles under the horses' hooves and threw darts at their flanks. At one point in the fighting, one of the mounted men, Police Constable Derek Tyrrell, was unhorsed. Unnoticed at first in the confusion, student leader Barry Swanson suffered a head injury and fell to the ground.
He's dead, sir. Murderer! Bloody murderer! Murderer! Murderer!
Good evening, sir. Chief Superintendent Kingdom.
Yes.
Well, we've got your murder room ready in there, sir. And that's an interview room, sir.
Good.
Right, I'll tell my governor that you're here.
You're Granger, aren't you? You're at the scene.
Yes, sir. I've put in a report.
Good. I'll need a statement from you, of course.
Yes.
Inspector Ward arrived yet?
He's in the interview room, sir.
Fine. Tell your governor I'll see him in about 5 minutes.
Yes, sir.
Got the message, then?
I was expecting it as soon as I heard what happened at the riot.
Demonstration.
Yeah. I thought they'd lumber you with it.
Did you? Why?
It's a touchy one, isn't it?
There's a policeman involved.
Unpleasant.
Always.
You were bound to get it.
Thank you.
It would never have happened at all if it hadn't been for that blasted Law and Order Brigade turning up on the scene. Bloody reactionaries.
Oh, look, spare me the catchphrases, will you? I don't understand what half of them mean. I don't suppose the people who bandy them about do either.
Well, I happen to know what a reactionary is.
Good. You must explain it to me in great detail. Some other time. Now, witnesses?
They're out looking for them now. It'll take a bit of time to find them all.
And the dead man?
Barry Swanson, third-year student. Lived locally in Dix. I have 2 men checking on him now.
And what about the mounted PC? Tyrrell.
I sent you home then?
Yeah, been put on the sick list.
You badly hurt?
No, I'm all right. Could be a lot worse.
Are they going to charge you?
What with?
Terrica man was killed.
Yeah, that's right.
They said you were responsible.
Who said?
With a paper.
No, I doubt it. Sub judice.
The whole street's talking about it.
Already.
But you never told me.
Wasn't here, was I?
Well, you could have telephoned. I mean, leaving me to see it on the telly.
There was an accident, that's all.
That's all?
Have a cup of tea, Guy.
What's going to happen then?
An inquiry. They've sent the chief superintendent down from the yard. Routine.
And they've sent you home?
I'm off sick, I've told you. Still the bruises go down a bit. The horse is hurt, Mary. The vet's been with her. Do you know what they did? They threw darts at her. Darts! Can you imagine anyone doing that? And they chucked a load of marbles on the ground. She could hardly keep her feet.
Oh, to hell with a blasted horse! What about you?
Oh, I'm all right. Face is a bit sore. Some layabout kicked me in the ribs.
And the dead man? Well, what about him? Derek,
What?
did you kill him?
Been in the division long?
Yes, sir. 12 years, sir.
Live locally?
Yes.
Married? Family?
Yes. 2 boys.
Gonna be coppers, are they?
Not if I have anything to say about it, no, sir.
It can get a bit tedious, can't it?
You couldn't have been so tedious today.
Now, how is Constable Tyrrell? Badly hurt?
I don't think so, sir.
Oh, well, I'll be seeing the surgeon's report. He'd be a bit shaken up, I should think.
Well, he got a couple of nasty bruises.
And he's bound to be upset. Well, isn't he? Thing like this?
Yes, I suppose so, sir.
You know him well?
I suppose I know him as well as any... Yes, I know him quite well, sir.
I'm sorry, you were going to say you know him as well as anyone... What?
He's been attached to the division for a long time, sir.
Popular in the division?
I think you should ask
I'm
the governor.
asking you.
I don't think there's any more I can tell you, sir.
Now, Sergeant, a man was killed today, right in the middle of your patch. A constable attached to this division is involved. Now, I can understand your reticence, but you can help him and me and your division best if you simply answer my question concisely and to the best of your ability. I want to know what sort of a man Constable Tyrrell is.
Quiet. Reticent. He doesn't mix very much with his colleagues. Keeps himself to himself, I'd say.
Married?
Yes, sir.
Kids?
Had a son. It died when it was a toddler.
Competent, would you say? Good at his job?
Yes. He's a fine horseman.
Now, about what happened this morning?
Yeah.
Yes, love, it's a memorial gathering for Barry Swanson. Well, yes, of course it's a demo. They won't dare touch it, at least I hope not. Now, look, I'll be in touch with all the student action committees, and George Burns taking care of CP, YCL, Socialist League, and so on. Now, will you contact the Labour Party branches? Yes, I've already sent details to the press. Now, look, it's got to be big. Yeah, a really massive turnout. You know, the line is, he died to save Feldorf. Yes, all right, love. Yeah, I'm counting on you. Yeah, black banners. Yes, that's it. Black banners for a memorial gathering and black armbands. Slogans, save Feldorf. Swanson died to save Feldorf.
He isn't even in his grave yet.
What's the matter with your brother?
It was his first demo. The violence upset him.
But not you, eh?
Well, of course it upset me. Barry's dead, and he was a good friend of mine. But there are always casualties in a war.
Well, this particular casualty didn't die in vain. The evening newspapers have given it the full treatment. Front page on every one of them.
Oh, they haven't arrested that copper yet.
Do you think for one moment they would? My dear Fiona, you got to learn to see they look after their own. They won't be touching him. They'll be doing a whitewash job.
They couldn't, not with all
We've
this.
got to keep things stirred up, love, keep things happening.
Well, my memorial
Keep
meeting...
feeding the newspapers more and more material, giving them something to get their teeth into. Make the fuzz keep ducking.
Well, I thought everyone in mourning. You know, black banners and the slogan, Swanson died to save Feldorf.
Ah, Feldorf isn't important anymore. Tyrrell's the one to concentrate on.
Who?
The Cossack. Mounted Constable Derek Tyrrell. The one that killed Barry. We have got to push the spotlight right onto him. Aye. I'm going to give him a lot of attention. Him and the rest of the pigs.
Yeah, they were here looking for you.
Me? What for?
Oh, as a witness. I want you to go to the station, make a statement.
Have you been?
Yes?
What are you telling them?
Well, what could I tell them? Just what I saw, with special reference to Lofthouse and his gang of fascists.
And the Faz? Unprovoked attack on a peaceful demo, did you tell them that?
What's the good? You tell them.
I will. When it suits me, I'll tell them. And I'm good and ready. Fiona, that copper committed murder. Cold-blooded, brutal murder. I'm going to make it stick.
We could have contained it quite easily. They were noisy, there was a lot of pushing and shoving, but nothing that we couldn't handle at that stage.
And then?
Well, then Major Lofthouse and his Law and Order Brigade showed up. After that, all hell broke loose. It seemed as if the demonstrators went berserk at the sight of them.
You had trouble with Lofthouse before?
On more than one occasion, yes.
Did you see what happened to Tyrrell?
Well, I could see that he was in trouble. I tried to force a way through to him.
Did you see him go down?
No. 1 minute he was on the horse and the next he disappeared.
Did he have his stave in his hand before he went down?
I don't think so.
Well, don't you know? It's important.
I'm sorry, sir. I can't. There was a whole crowd of them swarming about him.
And when you got there?
Situation was like I said. The man Swanson was lying on the ground, and Tyrrell was on his knees, about a yard away from him.
No more?
No more.
And his stave was in his hand?
Yes.
With blood on it?
Yes.
Were any of the demonstrators closer to the dead man?
Not by the time I reached him. It was like I said, there was a whole group of them swarming around.
Could you identify any of them?
A few. A good many, in fact. I've seen them before.
Anything?
Not a moment.
All right, that's all. For now. Read it through and sign it.
That blood on the stave, anything from forensic, eh?
Same general blood group as Swanson's. They're subgrouping now. What we need is eyewitnesses.
Well, they'll find them all in time.
Impartial eyewitnesses.
Well,
In a case like this, feelings are running high, tempers get frayed, there's a lot of excitement, people get jostled.
Are you suggesting the witnesses might perjure themselves because they're young and have a cause they believe in?
Well, put it this way. People sometimes misinterpret what they've actually seen. They remember what they want to remember. And who do you think in this particular inquiry is going to be impartial? You?
It's the truth we're after, isn't it? What really happened, that's all that counts.
You sure? I bet before this lot's finished, everyone will take one side or the other.
Even you?
I know exactly how to make the most of it. Keep it on the boil. We've got a bunch of kids out now making the next move. Huh? Well, of course they're holding an inquiry. Big public relations deal. Brass from Scotland Yard in charge. Doesn't impress me. I've got things to do. I'll ring you. Thought you were out of your sister's lot.
No, I said I'd wait for her here.
Yeah. Not so nice when it happens, is it? When the class war stops being a Cold War. But it's going to happen, Peter. Not because we started, it's the establishment. Once they feel themselves threatened, they'll start to fight, using all the instruments of state power, the police, the army, the courts. Like today, a revolutionary situation in microcosm. Lofthouse fascists and the regular police waiting to smash up a peaceful demo. And no stopping up murder.
Well, I think I'll phone up the stable, see how Bessie's getting on.
You did that 10 minutes ago.
Well,
It'll be ready in a minute.
not really all that hungry.
You will be when it's put in front of you.
Oh, it's silly, really. Put me on the sick list, making me stay at home.
The thought of being at home bore you so much. Do you know how long it's been since you had time off? I can't remember. Months, years. Haven't had a holiday since...
Since the boy died.
I'd like to get away for a bit once in a while, just for a few days. You might even go to the continent. You once said you wanted to go to that place in southern France. Where is it? You know, where they have all those horses.
Oh, the Commands.
Yeah, that's it. Couldn't we go, Derek? Just for a bit of a holiday?
They've got white Arab stallions there running free.
We've got plenty of time,
They let
you.
them run loose on the salt marshes. Hundreds of them in great wild packs.
It'd be lovely. Couldn't we do it, Derek?
Yeah, maybe, when this lot's blown over.
Thank you, love.
The boy would have liked it.
Yes.
I could have started teaching him to ride.
Well, you want a sweet? I've got some of that apple pie
I
left.
might have bought him one of them little saddles.
Or I could open a tin of peaches.
Fellow with later buzzard still makes them, boy.
Oh, Derek, please! Don't go on and on! Ah! God's name, what is it?
Bunch of tearaways out in the alley. Students. Bloody lame.
No, Derek, don't go out there!
We'll ask your governor to detail someone to keep an eye on the house.
Oh, I shouldn't bother, sir. I expect they're too busy to spare men for that sort of duty. Just an isolated case of vandalism. I doubt if they'd be back.
You think it's only that?
Well, we've got our percentage of ruffians on the patch, sir.
I would have said this was the work of some group reacting to this afternoon's business.
Why would they do that?
You should know.
If you'll excuse me, I've got things to do.
Yes, of course, Mrs. Till. Well, policemen's wives have a pretty hard time, don't they? Well, don't you agree?
I suppose so.
Well, they have a lot to put up with.
Do they?
I'd have thought so. Well, shall we sit down? You know why we're here, don't you?
You're inquiring into the circumstances of Swanson's death.
Yes. I have to find out exactly what happened. Now, at this stage, I'm not concerned with the reasons, the cause, anything that led up to it. I just want the bare facts. What did happen?
I don't know, sir.
What do you mean you don't know?
Just that, I don't know.
Yes, but you must remember.
I'm very little, really. Well, it's like that sometimes in a riot. It's all noise and shouting and
I
pushing.
know, I've been in a couple.
Our horses are trained for it. My mount's probably one of the best in the country. But it was getting a bit much even for her. They were throwing darts at her flanks, and there were marbles all over the place.
You were surrounded and cut off?
Yes.
And then they dragged you off your horse?
Yes, first time ever.
You have your stave out?
Yes.
Before you went down?
Oh, wait a minute. No, I don't remember. I may have had both hands full with the reins.
Do you remember seeing the man Swanson?
Yes.
Out of all those faces?
Yes.
Why his more than anyone's?
I didn't say more than anyone else's.
Oh, you remember other faces then?
I don't know.
Do you remember hitting him?
Well,
I may have.
What?
I may have hit him. I was using my stave to defend myself.
You were angry?
I wasn't enjoying it. I mean, they had no cause to do that to my horse.
your horse.
For all their training and discipline, they're still harmless animals. And they're very sensitive creatures.
Was Swanson one of these people who was throwing darts at your
Yes,
horse?
he had one in his hand when I...
When you what?
saw him. When I saw him.
Oh, can I help you, sir?
I'd like to speak to Chief Superintendent Kingdom, please.
Do you have an appointment, sir?
No.
I'm afraid he's not
My
seeing...
name's Carson. Harry Carson.
Newspaper man.
Journalist. Newspapermen seldom.
Yes, well, our press bureau already have a release prepared, sir. Chief Superintendent Kingdom isn't seeing any journalists yet.
He'll see me. You might say this was a social visit. I'm his brother-in-law.
Oh. Well, I'm afraid he's not here, sir. He's out already interviewing some people.
I'll wait, if you don't mind.
I don't know what time he'll be back, sir.
I'll still wait.
Any one of four things could have happened today. Either you didn't touch that man at all, and you've no case to answer, or else he was struck unbeknown to you, by accident, in which case you'd be completely exonerated, or else he was struck by you knowingly, whilst he was attacking you and you were defending yourself.
Manslaughter, but justifiable.
In either case, we have to know definitely and beyond any doubt.
You said any one of four things, sir.
That's right. The fourth is that you struck him with malice aforethought. Struck him because you wanted to strike him. In anger, maybe. Hate. Because of what he was doing to your horse. I don't know. But that's the fourth possibility.
Murder.
Yes.
I still can't help you. I don't know what happened.
There was blood on your stave. The same group as Swanson.
And surely that answers your question.
No, it doesn't. Now listen, Tyrrell. I want you to think. Take your time, but think. And for God's sake, try and remember what happened.
Yeah, I'll try, sir.
And then I want you to come down to the station and make a statement. I'll send a car for you.
Was only for that, sir?
I think there is.
There's nothing wrong with me. Be back on duty in the day or two. There's a football match on Wednesday.
And you won't be there, mate.
All right. As long as you're off sick, I'd stay inside if I were you. Even if it's only for your wife's sake.
They've gone then.
Yes, they've gone.
Are they satisfied?
No.
So what'll they do?
Hope they get enough evidence. Throw the book at me.
I think it must be the third or the fourth possibility. You've got to admit, he is a bit of a cold.
You're satisfied he clobbered Swanson, aren't you?
Why, I never thought there was any doubt about that.
There's a Mr. Carson to see you. I told him that...
Yes, all right.
He did say he was a relative, sir.
Yes, he is. In a way.
So he has a wife then, has he?
Mr. Kingdom?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. No way.
You fellas have been giving us a hard time.
It's a big fat bandwagon, John. Everyone's entitled to jump on it.
At the expense of the police.
A fair game.
Are they? They can't hit back.
Barry Swanson might have disagreed with that.
I hope you're not going to make a personal issue of this.
Come on, John. You know me better than that.
Do I? Just that your paper seems to be the most vehement of all.
Well, police brutality is always a good lead-off. Of course, with the case being sub judice, we couldn't be specific.
So you attack the whole force in general terms.
Maybe it'll be different later on. One man who saw red under provocation, not a typical police officer. But that won't be until he's tried.
Said anything about a trial?
Aren't you arresting him?
No.
You'll have to do something, won't you? You don't have too much time, John. They're screaming for action out there, you know. Half the population will be wanting Tyrrell's blood. The other half will want to give him a medal, and you're sitting right in the middle.
Yes. That's exactly where I intend to stay at the moment. In the middle.
Not a comfortable place.
No, you're damn right it's not. But do you realize this is a unique situation? You won't find it happening anywhere else in the world. If Tyrrell's guilty, he'll pay for it just the same as anybody else.
And if he's innocent?
And if he's innocent, he'll be seen to be innocent. I won't have policemen crucified just because they happen to wear a blue uniform and have a rotten, stinking job to do. And as investigating officer, I won't take sides. Now, look, I'm very busy. You shouldn't be here. You know that. Nothing I can tell you.
Yes, there's something I can tell you, though.
Oh?
Constable Tyrrell and the dead man.
What about them?
They knew each other.
What?
They knew each other before the demonstration.
How'd you know?
What do you think I've been doing all evening, looking for the personal angle? You didn't know that they used to drink at the same pub.
No, I hadn't got that.
Then you also don't know that they had a pretty violent quarrel about a week ago. Tyrrell never told you?
Never mind what Tyrrell said.
I'd say that looks bad offhand.
You sure?
Send one of your men round to interview the landlord of the Five Bells in Connaught Street. He'll tell you the whole story.
Any other witnesses?
About a dozen, and most of them regulars. So you see, if Tyrrell knew Swanson and had some reason to want to harm him, what better opportunity could he have than at the demo? All that confusion. What sort of a man was he, John?
So Inspector Ward to come in straight away.
What sort of a show is he going to make in court?
Lousy.
Oh, boy.
Look, this quarrel, you know you can't print any of it.
Be your age, John, I know that.
Yes? Well, that's something anyway.
What are you trying to do, get that copper off the hook?
I just want to make sure that there's no more prejudice against him than there would be against any other suspect.
Yes. Well, you're going to have to work hard, aren't you, to make sure of that.
See you.
Major Lofthouse. I just rang him to ask him to come and make a statement. He'd heard about the window being broken at Tyrrell's. Blew his fascist
Look, there's a
little
pub in
top.
Connaught Street. The Five Bells. Get down there, talk to the landlord. Find out what he has to say about a quarrel between Tyrrell and Swanson about a week ago. Get some men on to tracing other witnesses.
A quarrel? Swanson and Tyrrell?
That's what I said.
Right.
So, Tyrrell's still free as a bird. They'd have had any one of us inside quick enough and we follow as evidence.
Yeah, that idiot Sammy threw a brick. Smashed a window. I specifically said no violence.
Ah, broken windows neither here nor there.
Oh, look, George, it can't be dismissed like that. We've got to maintain control. If they started, it's different.
They're angry. They've got to show their anger. Have you spoken to any newspapermen yet?
No, I've been too busy. George, we don't have much time.
Neither do the police.
No, I'm talking about Carl.
Oh, yeah. Comrade Feldorf.
Look, they put him on the plane for West Germany the day after tomorrow. But I mean, this whole thing started with him, didn't it? This action committee and his expulsion.
Have you been having it off with Carl?
No. No, I haven't.
I just wondered.
Why?
Because you gotta face facts, love. You must have known. You never had a chance of saving Feldorf. It was an issue worth fighting for like any other. But now, out of that fight, a much greater issue has emerged.
So now we abandon Carl?
Ah, with his approval.
What?
I spoke to him on the phone.
Well, what did he say?
He said a lot. Mostly in German and very fast. What he meant was, forget me. Crucified a Carl.
All right, mate. Cheers. Granger. Sir? Has Tyrrell ever been in trouble?
Got his records there, sir?
Yes.
Well, there's your answer, then.
Look, don't fact me. I can understand loyalty to a colleague, but I won't tolerate obstruction.
I'm not obstructing, sir.
He's not a young man. Been in the force a long time. He's still a constable. Why?
Shouldn't you ask the governor that?
I have. I want to know what you think.
He's a fanatic about horses, sir. I suppose if he got promotion, he might have to leave the mounted branch.
There are sergeants and inspectors in the mounted branch.
Yes, sir. But he just doesn't get on with people. He's not what you might call a diplomat. You've met him, sir. You can tell that.
There's a note here. A couple of years back. An unsubstantiated complaint against him. Alleged assault.
Yes, sir.
Well, what about it?
He got involved in a fight.
Who with?
It was a young man. He hired a horse from the local stables. Tyrrell saw him ill-treating the creature. That's all. The RSPCA spoke up on Tyrrell's behalf.
Did you know that Tyrrell knew the dead man?
I heard some vague rumor, yes.
But you didn't think to tell me about it.
I can't see how it would have helped
I've got
Tyrrell.
news for you. We're not here to help Tyrrell.
What are you going to do about it, then? Throw him to the dogs?
Major Lofthouse,
Right.
you've made a statement, have you, sir?
Yes, told you fellas everything I know.
Then we needn't keep you any longer.
Wait a minute. I have a question to ask you.
Yes?
You charged the constable yet?
I'm afraid I can't discuss that.
Let's talk about it outside. We won't tolerate it, you know. Fellow was only doing his duty. Pity a few more of his colleagues didn't lay about with their truncheons. Blasted riot would soon have petered out if they had.
Would it, Major? Or would it have turned into a bloody massacre?
These long-haired louts need teaching a lesson.
Am I to understand that that's what your law and order brigade was there for? To provoke a fight and teach them a lesson?
You're talking about we came to help.
That's the sort of help the police can well do without.
We have a sense of responsibility.
You shall have a sense of irresponsibility. At least those demonstrators had some cause, some reason for their actions. You simply came on the scene to make trouble.
How dare you?
And how dare you set yourself up as a guardian of law and order?
I have considerable influence.
Then use it! To keep your people away from trouble spots. And bear this in mind, Major. A man is dead. A police constable is the subject of an inquiry into that death. Now, that man might still be alive. If you and your mob hadn't come marching down the street, banners waving, voices shouting, fists clenched, ready to do battle. My inquiries are into the circumstances surrounding the death of Barry Swanson, and you, sir, are part and parcel of those circumstances.
Just who the devil does that man think he is?
He thinks he's Chief Superintendent Kingdom of New Scotland Yard, sir.
You hear that? Oh, I shouldn't have let go like that.
Oh, come on. You only said things that needed saying. Let off a bit of steam. It was good for you. It was good for Major Lofthouse. And you got Sergeant Granger as a friend for life.
Well, what did you find out at the Five Bells?
Nothing that's going to do Tyrrell any good. Wasn't a fight they had on Monday, but it was a hell of a row. The publican came between them just before the fists started flying. Tyrrell and Swanson knew each other for at least 3 years. Ever since Swanson started at the college. They had differing views on quite a few subjects.
What was this particular argument about?
Horses, evidently. Swanson said something about the way that police horses were used to trample down demonstrators and football crowds. Tyrrell took strong exception to that.
Horses again. I wonder.
What?
I wonder if Swanson ever took riding lessons.
Well, I can check the local stables. Why?
A couple of years back, Tyrrell had a fight with a man who was ill-treating a horse.
Oh, I think you should suspend him.
No. I still need eyewitnesses, somebody who saw what actually happened.
Well, it's obvious what happened, isn't it? Tyrrell spotted Swanson in the crowd. He even admitted recognizing him and then went for him. A premeditated attack. Of course, you need more evidence, but when you get it, you've got to nail Tyrrell to the wall. You've got to show the public that policemen can't get away with this sort of thing. If you don't, you'll make every copper's job in this country that bit harder.
Have you finished telling me what to do?
I'm right, aren't I?
No! Tyrrell is a suspect, the same as any other suspect. I don't have to bend over backwards to convict him just because he happens to be a police officer.
You wouldn't be trying to do a whitewash, would you? Because to the outside world, it might just look a bit like that.
Destroy everything that's good and decent. You'll bring chaos.
All right, that will do. Pack it in, both of you. We'll be charged with causing a disturbance, and not in the cells. That's what you want?
An angry little man he is. Decent people are sick and tired of your behaviour. The country isn't safe.
Yes, that's
We
enough,
will
Major.
bury you,
Come on
mate.
now, come
And you're just surrendering to them, letting them out.
He wants to watch his blood pressure. Too many glasses of port after his dinner, I shouldn't wonder.
Who are you?
George Bowen.
Oh, yes, we've been looking for you.
Well, I'm here now, aren't I?
Yeah. Come in, I'll take a statement from you.
Mr. Byrne, you were one of the leaders of this demonstration.
Yeah.
Did you see what actually happened?
Yeah, darn right I did. I was right next to Barry Swanson when he copped it. I was right there when Constable Tyrrell attacked him.
Attacked him?
That's what I said. He went for him, truncheon swinging. He murdered him.
Morning. Get any sleep?
No. What have you got?
From Special Branch.
Are they taking their time? Anything relevant?
Fiona Cooper. She's a third-year student, active leftist, formerly a member of the Young Liberals. Not known to be a member of any party now. Served on various left-wing student committees. No trouble. Nothing from CRO. Sounds a good type.
What else?
Peter Cooper. That's her brother. Just left school, first-year student. Nothing known except he associates with the same group.
Well, Byrne,
Yeah, he's a pro. Experienced agit-prop man, former member of the Communist Party. Resigned on some obscure issue of principle, not known if he's joined any other organization, but presumably. Probably a Trotskyist or a Maoist or something of the kind.
Another good type?
You going to bring Tyrrell in? That statement of Bowen wraps it up, doesn't it?
Sergeant, send a car for Tyrrell.
Going to charge him?
I'll caution him, get a statement from him, then we'll see.
Aren't you finished that, yeah?
Give me a chance. Go to sleep sometime.
Slipping a bit, aren't you? Not like you to drag the chain. What's wrong?
There's that man down at the station.
Which one?
Lofthouse.
Oh, the goal-lighter.
I never saw so much hate in a man's face before.
What do you expect?
You could almost feel the hate. Something else besides, something much deeper. Fear.
Of course he's afraid he should be.
You were the same. We'll bury you, you said.
Bury him and you'll be doing him a favour.
George, you saw that copper hit Barry. I mean, you really saw him.
Look, love. I was as close to Barry as I am to you now. He never stood a chance. I reckon that copper set out to kill him. In any case, we're going to make him pay for it. Oh, it's about time you showed up, Peter. I want to see what sort of press we got.
Mr. Fuzz out here. He wants to know if he can come in.
Asking permission now. What happened to the battering rams?
Does that mean yes or no?
It means please yourself.
Thank you.
What do you want?
Just a couple of technical details. To do with your statement, Mr. Bowen.
What about it?
Somebody spelled the name Feldolf wrongly. Only one F at the end.
What do you want, Inspector?
Spying, that's what he's wanting.
Oh, come on now. You didn't give us a proper address when you signed your statement, Mr. Bowen. You gave us 23 Pettifer Road. There are only 12 houses in that street.
Oh, you didn't waste much time checking that, did you?
No, nothing ominous in that, I assure you. It's just that you'll probably be called to give evidence.
Against Tyrrell?
Who else?
I'll be here when you want me.
Just so long as we know where to get hold of
You think I'll skip?
I don't know. Will you?
That's an unwarranted thing to say.
I'm sorry. Then I'm not the diplomat my chief superintendent is.
If there is the remotest chance of a copper getting what's coming to him, I'll be around to hammer it in me.
Yes, well, it looks as though Tyrrell's going to get his. Your statement will see to that, mate.
I hope so.
Turn up for the book, wasn't it?
Oh, what are you talking about?
Don't you? Start out on another routine demonstration, turn it into a punch-up, and suddenly you've got a martyr. With the police to blame. Fantastic.
Look, Inspector, don't distort things. That demonstration yesterday, it had a meaning. There was a reason for
I'll
it.
tell you something, Miss Cooper. Just between you, me, and the gatepost, I have a sneaking admiration for you. And the things that you stand for. Yes, I might go so far as to say that I approve your actions. There. That's taking the wind out of yourselves, isn't it? A member of the dreaded Fuzz who might actually be in sympathy with you. Well, hold on, because I've got some more news for you. There are probably a hell of a lot of policemen who go along with your ideas. It's just the way you promote them. Sometimes, Miss Cooper. And that's when you start losing friends. See you. Have they brought Tyrrell in yet?
No. Anything from the lab? Blood on the stave. Subgrouping.
No, you're not waiting with that, are you?
Mr. Carson is here again, sir.
Oh, he won't be.
All right, send him in.
Through here, sir.
All over by the shouting, is it?
You might say that.
Tyrrell nicely packaged up, ready for the slaughter.
You know we can't reveal our findings to you, Mr. Carson.
You don't have to, do you? Not to me. John, earlier on, I threw a spanner in the works, didn't I? That snippet about Tyrrell and Swanson knowing each other might even have been the clincher. Well, I'm sorry, but I've got another spanner. Right here.
I'm listening.
A picture. Freelance photographer took it. He's an enthusiastic so-and-so, gets right up in amongst the action, right up with the TV camera boys. Where they go, he goes. Well, anyway, he got some good shots. I thought I might use this one in my follow-up tomorrow.
That's lovely. I'll have half a dozen nicely framed.
You don't use your eyes, do you? Look at it a bit closer.
All right, what am I supposed to be looking for?
A mound, a sort of bundle, down there in the bottom left-hand corner. Well, I got curious about it, so I had the darkroom boys blow this up for me. What do you think?
Swanson's body.
Well, it could be. And the point is that when the picture was taken, Tyrrell was still on his horse.
And he hadn't yet drawn his stave.
So he couldn't have tapped Swanson. Boy, when you throw spanners, you really throw them, don't you?
I knew there was something. Has anybody else seen these?
I know the boys in the darkroom. They don't know what I was looking for.
That's not enough. I mean, it could be anybody, anything.
This photographer, you said he was right up with the TV cameras. They might have got the same picture, only clearer.
No, I saw the newsreel last night, twice. Hang on. They don't show everything they shoot, do they?
Well, of course not. It's edited.
Get on to the television people. Ask them to string together everything they've got. Let's have a look at it.
This is all the film they took at the demo. In sequence, all strung together just for us. There's no soundtrack. I told them it was just pictures we were interested in. You can slow it down, send it back, stop it, or send it forward again, as you want.
Right.
That's Loft House. Starts getting rough around here. Tyrrell?
Yeah, now watch him.
Swanson.
Hold it. Run it back a bit, please. Right, hold it. Forward as slowly as you can.
That's where Swanson got hit, right there. Tyrrell's nowhere near.
The lad holding the banner, who is it?
Hold it. I know who that is.
Who?
Read it through, please. And then sign it.
If it's accurate.
See you Wednesday, Derek.
How's the horse?
Oh, she'll be all right, sir, when we're working together again.
Good. Oh, Tyrrell. Why didn't you tell me you knew Swanson? Why didn't you tell me about the quarrel in the pub?
I didn't.
No, you didn't want to make things worse for yourself.
Yeah, I suppose so.
But you must have known I'd find out.
I didn't think so.
Well, remember me to your wife.
So?
Didn't think.
Oh, he doesn't much. That's his trouble.
Hey! Why have you let that copper go?
Come in, please, Mr. Byrne.
Peter.
Miss Cooper, your brother's just made a statement in connection with the death of Barry Swanson.
Statement? What are you trying to pull? Is this some sort of police
Listen
trick?
to them, George. Will you just shut up and listen to them?
Now, in that statement, he admits that he struck Barry Swanson by accident with the shaft of a heavy banner he was carrying. The blow struck Swanson to the ground, and we've reason to believe that it caused his death.
It's true.
You bloody fool.
Now, in your statement, Mr. Bowen, You said categorically that you were standing close to Swanson when he was struck. If that's the case, you must have seen Peter Cooper strike the blow. Or else you were nowhere near the spot and you've been lying from beginning to end. In any event, you never saw Constable Tyrrell use his stave on Swanson or on anybody else.
I know what you've done. You've coerced that boy into making a false confession in order to shield a policeman.
Oh, you do ramble on, don't you, mate?
What will happen to him?
Oh, nothing very much, I shouldn't think. It would have been better if he'd come forward, but we could see it was an accident.
What do you mean you could see? You weren't even there.
The eyes of the fascist police are everywhere, Mr. Bain.
Save Feldorf. That's what we were trying to do, wasn't it? Save your boyfriend.
Isn't.
Isn't he? He was. So we didn't save Feldorf, and I killed Barry. Enough for you?
Not nearly enough, is it, Mr. Bain?
You made and signed a false statement after being warned of the consequences. It'll be forwarded to higher authority, and you may be prosecuted for attempting to pervert the course of justice.
Not may, Mr. Bain. Will. Take it from me.
And that's one story that won't hit the headlines, isn't it? Because you're not a policeman. You're not what they call fair game.